tailored towards people who are interested in pharmacy and who are about to, people who have just gotten the letter or the call, the email that they've been given an interview, or they've been given an opportunity to come interview at their school. So this is a video on tips for pharmacy school interview, what to do before the interview, and things to do when you're at your interview. All right, first I'd like to just applaud you guys in your journey, because you getting to the point whereby you've been given an email or you've been given a call for an interview speaks a lot about how amazing you are. So first, I'd like you to know that you getting this interview already shows that you look good on paper, because they haven't met you before, right? They only received your PCAT score, that if your school requires it, they received your transcript and your personal essay. So means that you look good on paper. So now it's left to you to sell yourself in person. You know what I mean? So it's left to you to sell yourself in person. This is supposed to be a really serious video, but I'm sorry, I like to have fun, and I hope you enjoy your journey through pharmacy school, because I know you get that school, the school you want, that one, you get it. All right, so while before I proceed, I'll just indulge you guys to just go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit the notification hit the notification bell, so anytime I post, you'll be first to be aware. All right, so I have my notes here, so as I proceed, to ensure that I'm giving you guys the right information and to let you know I did my homework for you. So first and foremost, you have to research the school. I know, because for myself, and I'm sure for you too, well, I know only just a few people actually they signed up for a call for just a few schools. I know for me, I actually, when I did my PCAT and then my, what's it called, the farm class, I ensure that I chose a couple of schools. If you chose a few, so it's easier for you to navigate, to think, okay, this is the school that just sent me a request for an interview, or this is what I need to do. But if you had multiple schools, you have to go back and research that school. Even if you chose few schools, please go back and research the school. Go deep, like you're investigating the whole school, because if this is where you end up going, you want to ensure that everything they have there is tailored towards what you want in life. Okay, so if you want specific things, be it specific electives, you want to ensure that that school provides it. Okay, so like I said, research the school, and you might go online, student doctor network, ask questions, but you also want to be careful. You want to ask people who have actually interviewed in that school, what kind of interview the school actually does. Some schools do the individual interview, right? Just maybe a faculty and another member of the pharmacy or whatever departments they are might be there to interview you. While some schools do this mini interviews where you meet with different faculty. So just so that if you mess up in one person, you can redeem yourself with another person. All right, so research the school, know what kind of interview they have, MMI or traditional, like I've said, but you want to be prepared for both. Okay, so practice. Something I would encourage that you do is practice in front of a mirror, or if you have family members who are really driven by your dreams and also want to see you succeed, ask them to sit down and just grade you, just give you feedback on how you respond to questions. But you know what, some of your family members might be biased, and some of them might be way too strict on you, some of them might be too nice and be like, oh, you did great. But you know yourself, you know how you feel after you've delivered anything. So go ahead, improve on yourself, do some mock interviews online. Like I said, go on Student Doctors Network, ask questions about the school, the interview process, and dig deep into the school. Dig deep. You also want to take into consideration the cost of tuition for that school, if you would be going out of state or if you'll be staying in state. You want to ensure that the cost, you don't want to be too indebted, You want to know if you're going into a private school, if you're going to a public school. I went to a private school, and guys, the loans are not funny. Okay, let me just throw that out there. Before you get in, make sure you know what you're getting into. So check the cost, and also you want to know what kind of program they have in this school. Is this a 3-year program, or is this a 4-year program? So you know how to mentally prepare yourself. Because for a 4-year program, things are a little, for my school, I'm speaking for my school right now, although my school have changed their curriculum, but for the 4-year program, it's the same way as your undergrad, where it was similar to undergrad, whereby you go through a particular course for the whole semester. However, there's some school who do the block system, where you go through a course for 2 weeks and you take an exam for that. I'm not really a fan of that, but bless your heart, everyone who's having to take that or do that. So you want to check that. If it's a 3-year program school, you also want to prepare yourself, your heart and your mind and your soul, guys, because a 3-year program school is even more tedious compared to the 4-year program. I'm not trying to scare you guys. I'm just trying to keep your heart and your mind prepared for this, okay? I know you're capable, and I know you're strong enough to actually go pass through this and get through this in flying colors, coming out shiny. So what else do you need to do? Like I said that already, I need you to do your mock interviews with family members, friends, or if you need to do a mock interview with me, send me a text in the comment section, and I'll be sure to do a virtual mock interview with you. All right, so now I'm moving right now. We are when a day, maybe 3 days or a week before your interview. You also want to know, ask yourself, or right after, right after the call, you want to ask yourself, or the email or whatever you say, ask yourself, why pharmacy? Because that's a question you would get asked in any interview. Even if it's a medical school, I'm sure they will ask you, why medicine? So why pharmacy is a huge question, is a question you get asked every time. So I'm sure you should know why pharmacy, because you are about to commit into this program, and this is a really rigorous program. So if you're trying to commit into it, you need to know your why, understand your why. If you understand your why, then you have something to hold on to when the semester gets really tough and hectic, right? So write that down, ask yourself several times, and you need to be honest with yourself, okay? Be transparent with yourself, because this is you talking to you, asking yourself questions. Don't worry, you're not mad. Ask yourself, why do you want to pursue this career? Why pharmacy? Are you doing this because your family, your parents want you to become a pharmacist? Or are you doing this because your sibling is doing it? Because that happens. Or are you doing this because you want to, it's a passion of yours, you want to help other people feel better, and you have to go beyond, I just want to help, because we all want to help. So you have to go beyond that. So the way I would advise you to go about answering this question is, first, when you're asked why pharmacy, you want to dig deep. You want to go, you want to use the story format, right? First, you want to make it a story, but you want to also be specific and concise enough that you're able to explain your journey to the point where you are and why you want to pursue pharmacy. Don't go to la la land trying to tell them about some story. Make sure whatever story you're trying to say pertains to the question you're being asked, okay? So you also want to be focused, and you want to listen well. And if you don't understand any question you're being asked, guys, ask them to repeat it, because this is your life, right? So you only get you only get a go at this interview once, right? So you want to do it best. So ask questions if you don't understand. All right, so another question that would probably be asked, it's an obvious question. It is, what are your weaknesses? What are your weaknesses, guys? And this almost sounds like a question you get asked when you go for an interview for a job, right? So when they ask you for your weaknesses, they don't necessarily want you to paint yourself black and just put out all your dirty laundry out there for them to know. The way you want to answer this question, you want to be honest, but at the same time, you want to also make a revelation of how through that weakness, you've become who you are today, and you continue to grow and improve on your weaknesses. right? So don't go there, don't answer questions like this when they ask you what are your weaknesses. Don't go saying, oh, something like, oh, or maybe when they ask you a question about one disappointing time and you say, oh, I wanted a 98 and I got a 96. Don't do that. Don't do that. As good as that sounds, you don't want to do that, okay? That you don't want to come off cocky, for the lack of a better word. So be humble, answer the question, and also show interest during your interview. Show interest that you're interested in this is what you want to do for life. When they see that interest in your face, they're likely to give you that, give you a seat in that class, okay? So you want to do that. And also, something I want to emphasize is, it's possible that you get asked a question that pertains to an issue going on about pharmacy or something related to pharmacy. So you might be asked a question about, okay, what do you think about the opioid epidemic going on right now? Something like that might be thrown out just to throw you off balance. It's not, they might not necessarily want you to dig deep, because obviously you're about to get into pharmacy school to learn more about these things. So they know you don't know it. So they just want to know how you think on your feet. So just be honest, okay? If it's something you haven't come across or you haven't heard of, let them know you look into it, that you haven't really heard about it or heard of it. Guys, be honest. Be honest with these people. Be honest, because if you start lying, they ask you another question, you lie again. Before you know it, you lose track of your lies. So be honest as possible, okay? And something else you want to do, guys, you want to research this. You want to research questions to ask these people. So you need to understand that it's an interview, but an interview is a two-way. It's a two-way direction, right? So you're getting interviewed and you are interviewing them as well, because they represent the school and everything the school is about. So any information they give you there, that's what you feel and you understand that the school is, right? So you want to ensure that you get some questions. Even if you've researched earlier, because remember I told you to research the school, even if you know the answers to these questions, guys, still ask questions. But don't ask obvious questions that's on the front page of the school portal. Like, they'll just feel like you didn't do anything at all, right? So you want to ask them. So something I asked my interviewers was something about diversity, because I'm really huge on diversity, because I came from my undergrad was the University of South Florida, and which was a public school, and now I'm going into a private school. So I really wanted to understand if they had the avenue where how I just wanted to know more about the diversity in the school and know if which ones are considered the minorities in the school. I just tossed the question out there, and my interviewer looked startled, because apparently they weren't expecting such a question, because that's not something you ask normally. So, but they were really impressed that I had asked that question, right? So you want to ask really good questions, but they'll tell you no question is bad question, guys. There are some bad questions that the answers are literally on the front page of the school. That's a bad question. But if it's like a news and you just want to know more about it, then sure, go ahead, ask them that question. All right, so something else that might pop up, guys, your grades. So let me be transparent with you guys, because I'm not going to sit here and let you guys think I got 100% in all my classes and I did well. So I failed a particular class. I failed, I failed organic chemistry 2. I believe that's the one that I failed. I failed organic chemistry 2, and I was devastated, guys, because hey, pharmacy, chemistry. So I was devastated, and I'm like, how would I even get an opportunity to a school like if I failed chemistry? And that's the misconception, guys. Pharmacy is not just, it's not all about chemistry. Actually, I feel like that's a myth, where people go and think that pharmacy, in order to be go to pharmacy school or pursue pharmacy, you have to be good in organic chemistry. Guys, na lie. If you don't know what na lie means, it means lie, guys. You don't, pharmacy school is not just about chemistry, right? It's a combination of everything. You get to know how the body works with medication. It's more interesting compared to organic chemistry, in my own opinion, because I know I might have some organic chemistry fans out there. So my grade came up, and although I took the class again and I did great in the second time I took the class, which is something you also want to do. If you have failed any class and you have to retake the class for your undergrad, maybe microbiology, and you have to retake it, make sure you do really good on the class. Try to aim for an A. If not an A, maybe a B plus, somewhere high there. You want to aim high so that when they see your results, they're like, okay, she probably learned from my mistake and she did better. But they would ask you, and the thing is, you want to take ownership of your mistakes. Own up to your grades, guys. Even if even if you got a D on it, own up to that D and say, oh. But for me, the reason why I did bad was because I had a family. That was when I had lost my father. So I made it known that I had some life-changing experience that actually led to me failing, because I failed. I needed a point. I think, no, 2 points to actually get a 70 and just pass, but I wasn't given that grace. So I told them, I'm like, oh, this happened, but I learned through my mistake that there's some things that we have no power over, which is the death of a loved one. I made it known that I understand that there are some things I can change, and the things I can, I will try as much as possible to change. I made it known that I had learned my lesson through that failure, and now I'm aiming higher to success. So I just turned the bad around. But first, remember to own up to your grades, own up to your mistakes or anything, to own up to it. So you also want to make sure you read the essay before. Read the essay that you wrote for that school. Read that essay before you go in, because you might be asked about your essay. So don't lie in your essay. I know we try to tweak it, but guys, be honest. So you want to read that essay before you go in, because they might ask you, oh, by the way, in your essay you said this, you said that. You want to be able to defend what you have written. All right, so now the day of the interview, I'm trying to rush this video because I don't want it to be too long, maximum of 20 minutes. So the day of the interview, you want to arrive early, not on time, early. So if you're traveling out of state, when you get to that state, make sure you drive to the school, drive around the school, and know where the interview will be taking place, guys. You don't want to be late for your interview. I was almost late for my interview. I was on time, but you know, on time is considered late. So you want to be early, all right? Nothing less than 15 minutes early. Nothing, right? You want to be 15 minutes early because you need to calm your nerves, because you're going to be nervous. I know that because I was nervous. So you want to have enough time to get yourself together, right? So you want to do that, be there early, and know that once you get into that school, driving into the school, your interview already started. So everyone you meet along the road, getting to your interview, like in the school premises, make sure you are at your best behavior, because you never know if that person is the one to decide your fate in the school. Okay, guys? So you want to be in your best, smile, be friendly, be excited. This is a school you're about to spend 4 years in. Actually, you're going to be in there longer than you let me not say longer than you're on your bed, but it's almost true. So yes, you want to do that, and you want to dress comfortably and professional. You don't necessarily have to wear a suit. I know professional people, like, they attach that to you wearing suits. You can wear something nice. Well, they have professional dresses out there too. So dress, men, wear your slacks. Look the part, guys. Look the part. So when you're speaking, look and act the part. Right? Something they say, fake it till you make it. So act like a pharmacist before you become one. All right. So so you also want to listen actively at your interviewer. Ensure that every communication you guys had going on, you paid attention, especially the personal one your interviewer might have shared. So because you would like to, something I did, I sent a thank you message, I sent an email. because I just didn't want to do the card thing. But you can do card as well. That even makes it more personal. I sent an email to thank my interviewer for taking time to come interview me, and I told them that I enjoyed the discussion we had about so and so, which was like a particular thing we had shared in terms of our diversity. So you want to ensure that you pay attention actively to the personal thing they might have shared, so that you include that in your email to them to thank them. And that's it, guys. That's all I have for you guys, and that's basically it. So I'll talk to you guys later in the rest of my videos. Like this video if you do enjoy this conversation, and let me know if there is anything you would like me to post, any topic, or maybe my IPPE, which is the introduction to pharmacy practice education, where you go to hospitals and you go to the community, the retail store, to actually gain experience of how a pharmacist actually function in the workforce. So I would see you guys in my other video. I love you guys. Bye. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Now, bye.